I'm a little late on this news, but Fear the Walking Dead is finally coming to an end. This absolute dumpster fire of a show is finally getting its death blow. If you are a viewer of my content, you obviously know I'm a fan of The Walking Dead. I'm actually a huge fan of The Walking Dead. But I gotta say, Fear the Walking Dead, though, it's just never been for me. I have given it multiple shots over the years. I have tried to like it, but it is just so goofy and so odd and so out of left field after, season 2 or 3? I just can't even stomach to watch it. It's just that bad. Even with characters you may like or enjoy, like Morgan, Dwight, even with that, the writing on this show is just so bad that I don't even get how people even stomach this show and watch it. I really, really don't. So Fear the Walking Dead will be ending with season 8 of the series run, and it's pretty much followed the same episode count as The Walking Dead throughout its run, where season 1 of Fear had 6 episodes, mirroring the original show, and then 2 through 7 had 16 episodes, but season 8 here for Fear is going to have only 12 episodes that they're going to be doing, which honestly doesn't shock or upset me. Good riddance. Like I just stated, I don't like this show. I haven't watched it in years. I will admit I do watch clips here and there on YouTube just to kind of maybe keep up with the lore of the show to see kind of what's going on. And I watch YouTube reviewers talk about it here or there, like maybe at the season's end over the last few years, just to, again, kind of keep up with the universe of The Walking Dead, just in case if there was something real crazy I needed to see, like maybe the CRM post-credit scene with The World Beyond. I didn't watch that horrific show, but I watched the end credit scene, right? So I just kind of keep up with seeing stuff in the universe of The Walking Dead. So that's what I've done with Fear, and I can honestly say I don't think I've missed too much. I know I watched the first season. I think I watched partial of the second. I know everyone seems to rave about the third season. I don't think I watched a lick of the third season, which maybe one day I need to. But the second that they introduced Morgan, it just fell apart. It really did. Honestly, spoiler ahead, spoiler. The second that they killed Nick on this show, it just lost me. I really just stopped caring. I found Nick to be the most compelling character on the show by a large stretch, and the second that they killed him, and I know the actor wanted to move on, which again, I really don't blame him, but the second that that character was gone, I just had no real interest to continue on with this show. Like a lot of people say online, it'd been real interesting if they would have leaned into the Clark family being villains and them possibly being the Whisperers, which I don't really care about the Whisperer thing. I know a lot of people kind of wanted that, but it would have been interesting that we would have saw this family kind of de-evolve into being true villains. Now that would have been interesting to see, and that's a show that I probably would have watched. Even if I wouldn't have watched it when it all came out, I would have of course heard things that like, oh, you really need to watch this is a really good show. I would have went back and watched it, and of course if they probably would have continued on that arc, at least it would have been an interesting narrative to follow. But they very much did not go that way. They killed off Nick, they killed off Madison, but now they brought her back. Alicia's all but dead, right? The last time that we see her on that beach, she's practically dead because she got bit at the beginning of that season. But this show just really feels like it doesn't know what it wants to be. It lost its identity very early on, and it really did not help its case when they brought in Morgan and Dwight and other Walking Dead characters. It just doesn't mesh well, doesn't flow well, and they should have just stuck with the Clark family and told their story with those characters. And good or bad, they should just stuck with their original idea. Because I will never understand why they shoehorned Morgan into this show. It would have made a lot more sense at the time. They wanted to do something with Morgan and he wanted to be the star of something. Why not just do a Morgan standalone spinoff and just leave Fear alone, do a Morgan spinoff, and of course keep the normal Walking Dead going on? Back when this all went down back in 2018, it just would have made a lot more sense. But somehow this dead corpse of a show has dragged its way to 103 episodes by the series end. Tip your cap to them that they even got to 100 episodes, because it is honestly a miracle that this show has dragged its way to 100 episodes. But I feel like the vast majority of people have given up on this show many years ago just because it doesn't tell a real compelling story at this point. It really doesn't. And to me, the only real compelling character that they introduced over the last few seasons, the last time I watched it, was John Dorie, and they killed him off too. So every character that I find even remotely appealing on this show just gets killed off, whether it's Nick, Alicia, or John Dorie. And then bringing Madison back too after all these years was just dumb. And I know they never showed her dying, but really? I don't know. It just made no sense. They shouldn't have killed her to start with. They shouldn't have killed Nick to start with. And maybe the show would have shaped up to be a heck of a lot better. But it is what it is now. What are we going to do? So probably the last big news about Fear the Walking Dead ending is that it's going to take a 7-year time jump into the future. So roughly speaking, from what I saw online, that Fear is going to get close to where The Walking Dead ended, maybe within 6 months to a year. Again, the Walking Dead universe or calendar or whatever you want to call it, it can be kind of muddy at times, but just know that Fear's roughly going to be where The Walking Dead was when it ended. So who knows, maybe some Fear character is going to pop up in some spinoff of The Walking Dead's, right? Just keep that in the back of your mind. If Morgan pops up somewhere, or Madison or some other character, or Strand or someone, not mad about the jump. They should have done it years ago, honestly, to kind of keep pace with The Walking Dead, because The Walking Dead has done so many time jumps over the years, especially over the last few seasons of the mainline show. They jumped into the future a lot. They kind of just got real loose with jumping forward. To circle back what I said earlier, I'll definitely keep up with the lore of the show, and I'll watch some clips and I'll watch some reviews to kind of see what's up, but I don't plan on watching each episode for 45 minutes each. I just don't have it in me anymore. Unless it's just so incredibly awesome that I have to watch it, then of course I will. What are the odds of that actually happening? I think that's pretty slim. So when it's all said and done, it'll be interesting what many people feel about Fear the Walking Dead, because technically, I think you could probably call it a success. It will have had 8 seasons, over 100 episodes, and it's done well, I guess, in the summer time slot that it's been the majority of its life. But with that said, when you're comparing it to The Walking Dead, it's a big flop, right? Like, it's not even close. And I'll even give people who like the show the first 3 seasons of the show. Fine, I can give you that. But beyond that, it's just such an odd show. It feels out of place and even kind of campy at times. Like, I'll never forget this one episode where, like, John Dorie shoots an axe that Dwight has and a bullet bounces off the axe and kills a walker. I mean, what? Stuff like that just doesn't fit in the Walking Dead universe at all. And to see something like that is just odd and kind of cringe inducing. It really is. Another thing too, I'm just over Morgan's character. I just am. I don't find him appealing anymore. I really don't. Even within the Walking Dead mainline show, he went back and forth of being in clear mode, being in all life is precious mode so many times over the few years he's on that show that it got exhausting. It really, really did. And I know it's continued into Fear, and that's pretty much his only character development is what type of Morgan is he going to be today or throughout this whole season. That's it. So with all that said, I have to direct you to a video that I made about why Morgan should have died in season 8 of The Walking Dead and not Carl. And I explained the whole thing, but to me, his death would have worked a lot better within the show than Carl's, and his death could have catapulted Rick to understanding why he should save Negan, etc., etc. His death would have done more for The Walking Dead as a whole than Carl's did. And in turn, you could have kept Fear the Walking Dead how it should have been and let it develop however it was going to develop, but at least it wouldn't have been a bunch of shoehorn characters into the show. At least it could have followed the story that they wanted to tell originally. All right, I think that's enough ranting about Fear the Walking Dead at this point. I'm glad it's ending. Keep a lookout for it when it comes out on May 14th. I won't be tuning in, but maybe you'll be. Honestly, you deserve a gold star at this point if you are still tuning in to the show. But with all that said, what are your thoughts on Fear the Walking Dead? Let me know down in the comment section below. And while you're down there, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be greatly appreciated. Until next time, guys, everyone have a great day. Thanks for watching.